What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope everybody's doing great this evening. Go ahead and click that share button in the lower left-hand corner. We're going to change it up a little bit. I kind of told you guys we're going to do something a little different here on the OG show. So, I want to talk about some of the hot topics going on around the kayak fishing world, kayak world in general. But I'm also going to invite you guys to join in, either in the comments, if you want to jump on the stream, talk about a topic. The way I envision this is kind of like a talk radio show, almost, where you can call in, but you can jump on the stream with me. Let's talk about it. You want to shout out your local trail tournament coming up this weekend, sponsors, whatever. This is a platform by anglers for anglers and everybody in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link down here in the comments. If you want to jump on at any given point in time, just click that link and we'll have you on. So let's start off. A lady. Wait. I want to add some comedy into this. With everything going on in the world, we all need to laugh a little. So I'm going to crack some jokes here and there. Please, nobody get offended. It's all out of good fun. Oh, my man Richie. Happy National Go Fishing Day. Holy shnikes. I didn't know that. Thanks, Richie, for dropping that in the comments. My man down there in Missouri, living, the guy pretty much lives on a bluff overlooking Tennecomo. Thanks again, Richie, for housing me and Alan Reed down there for the Table Rock tournament. Huge shout out to Richie. If you're ever down in that area, you want to sling some big old swim baits, hit Richie up. Missouri swim bait slinger. So I guess hot topic, man. Some lady won the Hobie Bass Open. I'm just kidding. Jody Queen crushing it again. He is a man. He is the man. Pretty incredible. I know a lot of people struggled down there. Susie, one of our own here, had a rough go around, but it was what it was. Oh, we got a first guest. Let's get this dude in here. What's up, brother?
Good evening.
Richie Lockery from Missouri. How we doing, buddy?
Oh, not too shabby. Lovely 75-degree evening, low humidity. Just chilling at the house.
It was warm as all get out up here, man.
Hey, my backyard finally dried out.
Oh, yeah, sure. Now that I'm not there and I don't have to drive through it, it's dry. It's dry. So has Table Rock, we talked about that. It was kind of flooded out when we were down there, man. Has that come back down?
Nope. They've been holding it the same level for the last 2 weeks. And
really?
They are for the foreseeable future. They're bringing beaver down. Table Rock staying the same. They're pulling 15 to 25,000 out of both shoals.
Oh wow!
Varying daily, but it's not dropping much either. It's still over 30 feet high down there.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I
know.
When we were down there fishing, man, we talked about it. It's nuts. It's nuts. We got another one jumping.
We still have a strong morning topwater bite in Table Rock. Caught me a Missouri Master Angler eligible smallmouth last week on the new 6 cents the speed wake.
Oh, okay, right on. Very
and several
cool,
other ones. That was right off Indian Point down there, where we had the weigh-in location, kind of the impersonable weigh-in.
That's where I fished the second tournament, and I ended up getting big bass in the first hour. I think it was like 18 3/4 smallmouth. Chasing shad, man.
And hey, that's also a Missouri Master Angler fish. 18 plus on smallmouth and spots.
Look at that. I'm a master angler and I didn't even know it. I love it. Woo!
But I have 4 Master Angler largemouth this year. That's 22 plus.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Hold on one second. I want to get this guy in here. This goofy character, Mr. Staley. How you doing?
Oh, I'm here.
How's it going, brother?
Good. Getting stuff ready. Me and Sam Jones are doing some fishing tomorrow for a tournament on Saturday. So,
Oh man, I'm sorry you got to fish with that guy.
Could be worse. Hey, Richie, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going.
Oh man, so I know we talked about this. So, what is the big swim bait you work with, Richie? It's the name is slipping my mind right now.
Magdraft, Megabass.
Magdraft. Okay. So Richie, kind of, if you've never seen a guy that throws big swim baits, I mean, I was holding a box of probably $2,000 worth of lures in one 3,700 box. That was out of Richie's private collection, but he had a pretty epic day. That was on Tennycomo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So run people through this list of fish you caught.
So back in March, I had one day, got set up on a spot, same spot last year where I caught 94 3/4 inch limit in about 35 minutes, but I only had the 6 inch. And so roughly same time of year, went back out. I had 6 inch again, caught fish back-to-back cast. This time I had the 8 inch with me. Sat down the 6, threw the 8. Second, third cast got bit, swung, cranked the fish in. 23 inches even, weighed 9.5 pounds.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Evidently that was mama. If I didn't get a bite after that, everyone was mad.
I wish.
And went on about fishing. Other areas came back to it, nothing. Fished another area, started picking up a bunch of small fish, and there was just a stick poking up out of the water to the left of where I was at, and pitched that. I was actually throwing a jig then, and then pitched that jig, hop, bump, big old swing, cranked that fish in 23 3/4 inches.
Jesus, dude.
9 even. So this was a Thursday. I went out that next Saturday. That 2 days later, went out Saturday morning. Caught 3 more on the 8 inch. I think I had like a 20 and a 21, and then threw a different the 8 inch Banff shad by Coalition Baits and racked up a 22.5.
Jesus, dude.
And with those 2 days, I had 100.5 inches for Thursday, and then upgraded my bottom 3 fish on Saturday for a grand total of 109 3/4.
Missouri Giants, my man Richie, always crushing them.
Just 3 weeks ago, I caught another 22 1/4. Same area on the 5.5 inch true bass paddle tail.
Well, it was funny, man. When we were down there, you're like, "Yeah, I'm going out to check my spots." I think that was Friday, and
Yep.
you're like, "Yeah, I just threw the 8 inch." I got a bunch of follows. I knew I wouldn't get bit, but that was your way of checking spots, going out and slinging an 8 inch swim bait.
Actually,
just to see if they were
it was the 9 inch KGB Legend glide bait.
My bad. 9 inch swim bait. 9 inch.
I've been throwing glide baits on Table Rock for almost 7 years now.
Yep.
And with the clear water and the numerous amount of spotted bass, they're notorious for following big baits. And so something common amongst big baiters to locate fish is just to start covering water and throw them baits near structure or whatnot. If they don't bite the first time, you can leave the spot. Sometimes come back 30 minutes, an hour later from a different angle and maybe a little different retrieve, and it can get that fish to bite. Or like what I was doing, just go back. Like, okay, so I was in a big giant cove, and within that cove, it had a bunch of little cuts or coves within it, and that's where I found these other fish. They weren't on the straight sections. It had to be in a cut, and I threw that bait along them straight sections, no follows. Get up into some of the laydowns up in the cuts, throw that bait across there, and here come 1, 2, 3 fish coming out, and they're all 2-3 pound class fish. Okay, I know where you live. I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. But tomorrow you're getting a little pointy thing poked through your beak. I like it.
I will say one thing I kind of faltered on that I picked up on last weekend was throwing a tube.
Yeah.
In the bush. I caught 2 or 3 Kentuckies out of the bushes after that topwater bite died down 2 weeks ago now, and that's something I should have totally done during that tournament because I got bit every 15 minutes throwing that tube around, where I caught my first 4 fish right off the bat in the morning, and then covered my cuts in that cove I pre-fished. And in the same cut where I had lost one during pre-fishing, that's where I caught number 5.
Nice.
And then just never called anything else.
Right on. Sweet. Well, if you guys are just jumping in here, man, we're kind of opening up the platform. Anybody that wants to jump on, just click the link that's up in the comments, posted by the Paddle and Fin podcast. Feel free to jump on. We'll talk about whatever is going on. We got my man Justin Staley, Bass Yak and Vet. Richie Lockery was just talking, throwing big swim baits and fishing down on Table Rock and Tennecomo. So you're going fishing this weekend with Sam Jones. That's unfortunate. Yep. So what are you guys fishing down there?
We're fishing Monroe. We've got Grassroots Bass Yakking and Kayak Anglers of Southern Indiana are running a joint event on Saturday at Monroe. Okay. So tomorrow do a little pre-fishing, and then we still have. I'm still fishing the Noobs tournament, and then the monthly challenge. So I've got a total of like 5 tournaments all running.
What are you gonna have, like 6 identifiers on the deck of your boat, bro, or what?
Yep.
Like Jesus!
Every square of the KBF card filled in.
Well,
don't forget your bingo highlighter.
I know.
So if you guys aren't familiar with Grassroots, it's kind of a cool club, and it's a unique format. Shout out to Jim Strunk. I know he's one of the masterminds behind that. But what's that?
I said I think he's the one that started it all.
I believe so as well. Part of Team Catch. But what they do is they pick different bodies of water. And Justin, if I'm explaining this wrong, you can correct me. And you can fish, I believe it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. You got to pick a day.
Most of them run Thursday through Monday.
Oh, okay. Thursday through Monday. See, I already screwed up.
I think Grassroots has a total of 8 series in Indiana and maybe 1 in Illinois. So
look at that sticker on that mug right there.
Oh, what, this thing?
Oh, Richie's always prepared. But you get to pick a day, so that way you're not stressed out about making it on a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever, and you can kind of fit that tournament in your schedule. It's kind of a cool, unique, different kind of way of doing the tournaments.
Well, it helps a lot of guys that work weekends, night shifts, stuff like that. It gives them opportunity to fish Thursday and Monday.
You work night shifts? You're on days, aren't you?
No, I'm Monday through Thursday, 10-hour shifts. So.
keeping all those guys calmed down at the penitentiary in Indiana. So if you do something wrong in Indiana, you might see Justin. I don't think
you can come work for me. Not the
Very
one you
cool,
want.
man. Yeah. But that's cool, man. So is this tournament number 3 or 4 for Monroe so far this year?
This is number 4 for Monroe.
And they do what, 5 events on each lake?
I think it's 6 this
6?
year.
Okay.
So
okay. Right on.
there's a couple. So
you kind of lagged out a little bit there, my man.
And
they don't have cell towers in Indiana. But
you want to say hi?
Oh, my man. What's up, dude? Welcome to the show.
Did you go fishing and catch bunch of big bluegill? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, PFD safety. That dude.
There you go.
The day I caught this last smallmouth, this dude flopped out of the kayak.
Oh man.
96 feet of water.
That's not good.
Guess what? Had his jacket on. Little freak out at first, screaming. Yeah. Daddy got that feel free lure 13.5 turned around because it's a barge.
Well, and that's a good thing, man.
But by the time I got pointed back at him, he was calm and treading water. But his little Crocs had come off, floating away, and his little sun hat that I make him wear was floating the other way, and had a little garage sale going on. Nice. Middle Indian Point.
So it's Father's Day this weekend. You guys got any plans? What's the plans, man?
No, probably just fishing.
All right.
What Justin? I do, so we have a baby shark lawn chair. It's one of the folding chairs, and I use the that bungee system that comes in the back of the field freeze to secure his seat.
Okay.
And so he gets to sit back behind me. I just pack like 237 boxes and slide them under the seat. And I've actually mounted just the Berkeley, the cheapo rod rack in the front of that feel free, so I can carry extra rods and not have him messing with them.
Okay.
So far, knocking on wood, he's not hooked himself playing in the fish room.
Very cool.
So I'm not afraid to get him up at 4:30 and go somewhere, and we'll go fish till 8, 9 o'clock, and then we'll come home and we'll take a nap together and get up, have lunch, and maybe go do it again in the evening.
Nice. I like it, man. I like it. Justin, what's your plans for the weekend, my man? Justin is froze.
Yeah, this.
There we go.
Got the regional. My froze.
No, you're good.
No, I'm fishing the KBF regional Father's Day. But
well, you're lagging out, brother. I'm gonna pull you out real quick, and you could jump back in if you want.
What are you doing this weekend?
I don't know. We got some weather coming in. But real quick, we got Michael Sturgill in the comments said, better take it easy on us this weekend, Justin. None of those 21 inchers are allowed from you. LOL. So he's throwing the smackdown, but open format tonight, guys and girls, for tuning in. If you want to jump in here, feel free to click the link. I will post it up again. You want to come on, talk about what you're doing this weekend, tournaments, fishing, things in the community that are going on that you want to talk about, man. Come on and jump in. We got Richie Lockery in here right now from Southern Missouri. We had Justin Staley in here a second ago that was lagging out from Indiana. But one of the topics I wanted to bring up, and Richie, you could chime in on this, man, is Z-Man came out with the all new and improved Clearwater chatterbait. Have you seen that?
I have.
Thoughts?
I have to see one in person. I used the Strike King Rage blade with the clear lip.
Okay.
And it has a little metal reinforcement within it, but the plastic blade itself broke around it.
Ooh.
It caught fish. I never really threw that versus, say, a chrome one back to back, or they have a green pumpkin one.
Yeah.
To really tell a difference. Usually, if it's clear, I'm throwing a flashy one. If it's dirty, I'm usually throwing a flashy one.
Well, I've seen some interesting. I've seen some interesting conversations going on around this whole new, chatterbait that's coming out by Z-Man with the clear blade, and I get the concept.
Oh yeah,
I know a lot of guys are worried about, with the why the hell the jackhammer. The second that thing hits the water, that blade starts vibrating. And a lot of folks are worried that that's not going to be the case with this new clear blade because it's smaller and, the different dynamics of it. So,
yeah, polycarbonate, which I imagine the blade may be made out of, like safety glasses.
Sure.
It is a little lighter than a tin or steel blade. Mm-hmm. It's probably going to be a duller sound than the ting that you usually get from the regular jackhammer. And I mean, if you're in an area where that bait's the regular version is extremely popular, or just chatterbaits period get thrown a lot, that different sound from the plastic blade could make a little bit of a difference. And I mean, it's kind of like a silent square bill versus a rattling square bill, essentially.
Right. Yeah, I just think it'll be interesting.
It'll probably shine in clear water when the bass are more visual, and I believe it's the lower pitch noises travel further in water than the high pitch. So it may allow for kind of like with the swim baits, the bigger the profile, the further away a fish will come to see it. So the duller sound may travel further.
Sure. Well, it's an interesting concept because I've seen guys talk about, like, in a rocky lake such as Table Rock, like a thunder cricket would perform better than the jackhammer. The jackhammer is more for like the weeds and things like that. So it's kind of interesting, and I think part of that is that way that sound vibrates throughout the water.
And off of rocky bottoms versus a mucky bottom that will absorb the sound.
Sure. Yeah, I just pulled up Tackle Warehouse, and I don't see those chatterbaits for sale on there yet. I'm curious of the price. I haven't seen a price on them yet, but it's been an interesting topic, interesting conversation going on. With all the craze around the jackhammer, now the new and improved, different style is coming out. When they came out with the football head, I don't know many guys that are throwing the football headed ones. So,
last fall I made up a football headed 3/4 ounce chatterbait for fishing 20-25 foot. I caught 2 fish on it during the tournament. I don't know. I like the Arky heads on my chatterbaits.
Yep.
I've got some chatterbaits. I mean, it's the blades hit the head on the Arky style so much it's flat spotted it.
Right. Yeah.
So the and I've tried a weedless, like the pointed weedless design, and it almost dives. Because the blade doesn't have anything to really hit, and the blade angle sits back real steep instead of upright like you get with the Archie or a football head.
I get it. We got a great question from Chris Dodson. He's curious how the blade will deal with the heat with warping while being stored.
I've been a mechanic for 16 years, and I've had I've been a mechanic in Phoenix, Southern California, and then here in Missouri. And I've seen upwards of 128 degrees ambient temperature in Phoenix. So if the grade of polycarbonate that they use for these blades is anything near what safety glasses are made of, they'll be just fine.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think it's a little bit thicker plastic compared to the thickness of the metal blade, so I don't think you'll have issues with that.
It's not going to be. I assume it's not soft, and so you won't have the heat distortion issues like you do with like the scrounger heads.
Yeah.
Where they've got that soft little bill on the jig head.
Right. Justin Staley asked, "You think it'll chip?" I doubt it. I mean,
it'll scratch
unless you're banging it off of rocks. I think that's the only way that blade's really gonna chip.
Yeah, it'll definitely scratch and dent.
Yeah.
But I've not had any safety I just keep going back to safety glasses. I've never had any safety glasses chip.
No, they usually shatter if they get hit with something hard,
They'll crack. I've not had any come apart. It's almost like a windshield glass, and it's multi-layered.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a malleable material. So it'll flex a little bit. But yeah, if pierced, they can crack, but it probably won't chip.
It'll be interesting. On the topic of new things coming out,
Come on, get down, please.
I recently saw an image in a post about the all-new Apex watercraft that Eric Jackson's been working on. With a price tag of $8,000.
Oh, that's the discounted price tag.
Yeah. So, how many people are lining up to buy these things? I mean,
I still haven't seen any good pictures of it. Just that it's like 100. It's like a 50-yard photo of it.
I get the carbon fiber, right? You're saving on the weight, but $8,000 is a steep price to pay, and a steep price to pay for a sit-inside kayak. Like, don't get me wrong, Eric Jackson has been a huge innovator in the kayak world, both on the whitewater and the fishing side. I mean,
now I haven't got to chat with a buddy, Brad Daniels. He is he's a kayak paddler, competitive. He competes in the MR 340, which is a 340-mile race down the Missouri River. And he has an 18-foot solo kayak, carbon fiber Kevlar, weighs 18 pounds.
See, that's crazy light. I like the weight factor, but at the same time,
I was gonna hit him up today and ask him how much that rig cost him.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's probably in that price range just because of the material.
Oh yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, the time and energy it takes to form a boat out of carbon fiber. Don't get me wrong; it'll be a work of art. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be one of those boats that you don't want to take out because it's like the Ferrari that sits in the garage, right? Like you drive it maybe twice a year, because you don't want to add miles to it. You don't want it to get scratched, dented, dinged, whatever, and it costs an arm and a leg to tune up. So it's one of those like eyepieces that sits there. I mean, I don't know where he's going with that. I thought at one point there was talk that it was going to go back to a roto molded boat, but which would have definitely saved on the cost. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I just don't see where the market's going to be. You know, I mean, the kayak craze right now is crazy. Like working at the shop because of this whole coronavirus and everything. There are so many people buying kayaks, bicycles, things like that to get out and recreate. They can't go to concerts. They can't go to ball games. They can't do whatever. There's nothing on TV. I mean, in Missouri, bars are open. But up here, like, they're pretty much closed for the most part. I mean, we got some patios open, but, you know,
I'll say this. I helped a buddy this week. He upgraded to a native FX12 from a Pescador. Sold another boat and the Pescador and got the money to buy the native. He went to the kayak shop last week, looked at I forgot the color of it. It was like a black, red, and white.
Sure.
And he goes, if I come back next week, can I get this boat? He said, oh yeah, we've got plenty of them.
Not anymore.
So today's Wednesday, Monday evening or afternoon, we got to talking about it at work, and I was like, well, let me call the local store. Zero in stock. They say Carter, Arkansas might have one. I call them. The guy puts his eyes on a Blue Lagoon FX12, and I was like, okay, I've got a serious buyer. Hold it. And so he went to the local store, paid for it, and then yesterday drove down and picked it up. And that was the last native FX12 they had across 4 stores.
Yeah.
And then on another note, somewhere in the Facebook group, I saw Bass Pro Shops Ascend section just completely wiped clean of kayaks.
Well, that's the case up here as well. I mean, we took probably 50 phone calls this past weekend asking if we still had kayaks in stock because all the big box stores are sold out. So it's driving people to our local shops, which is great because I love seeing them thrive, especially in these messed up times, you know. Bike shops and kayak shops and anything outdoor shop is thriving right now. And it's great to see that, you know. It could be the exact opposite where these guys are going out of business because they couldn't conduct business.
Yeah.
And you know, inventory's being depleted. So like the tough thing right now is the manufacturers had shut down because of this COVID thing because they got more than one person working in the factory. So now they're backlogged. So if you guys or gals were thinking about getting a new boat, you better either get it now or look at 2021 because it's going to be a while.
And I've heard it's just gone back and back and back and down and down and down the chain. I mean, this where the plants are getting their plastics, those shut down. So they're having a limited amount of plastic getting to the factory to make the boats, and the metal suppliers for the aluminum seat frames and so on and so forth. And it just wrecked down. So I run the Lose Buy Sell Trade community group. I got 54,000 people. During the COVID shutdown, thousands and thousands of rod and reels were sold, and there were some new people, some rods broken, and some real issues. And Lose themselves, which they're local to me, right up in Springfield. Sure. Springfield had some really stringent COVID local ordinances, and I wouldn't even call it a skeleton crew. Literally the warranty department, service, inventory, all that stuff was closed down until about May. I think they went back May 4th when they lifted the ordinances, and then they finally went to. I have a correspondence with someone in inventory, and within the first week, what inventory they had there in the warehouse,
sold.
they have an extremely large warehouse on the east side or west side of town.
I've driven
It's
past
empty.
it. Yeah,
it's empty.
Yeah,
because they had to restock all the box stores.
It's crazy,
and
man.
So, and then the service side, they're so backed up. They're on a first in, first out basis.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you break a rod today and shoot them an email, you might have to wait 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, I know my good friend JP, one of our hosts here at Paddle and Fin, he broke a St. Croix, and it was the same way. Like, they told him they didn't even know when they would get to it. And
it's not just lose. I mean, it's everybody.
Yeah. It was definitely seeing the after effects from all this. Like I said, I'm totally happy to see that the outdoor industry is thriving right now. It's good to see people, getting off the phone and getting away from the TV and getting outside, getting some sunlight and enjoying the outdoors, man. I'm not saying get off the podcast right now. You can continue watching. It's evening in most places, so can't go out fishing much anyways. But it's crazy. I mean, I know at Jackson Kayaks, man, I think they're backlogged on the Bite and the Bite FD, I believe, till 2021. So, and it's crazy to think that. So yeah, if you were in the market for a kayak, you better get out there, find it now. If not, you're looking at pretty much next year. I know Rocktown Adventures, man, we're pretty much sold out of Bonafides. We got a few Jacksons left, and
then everyone in their stimulus money.
Yeah, well, that was part of it too.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know how many guys. I don't know how many guys and gals I saw going, maybe I'll go buy a new boat, or maybe I'll go buy a couple new rods and reels and all that good stuff.
I mean, shoot, if my truck didn't need an engine, we got what was it? We got like $2,900.
Richie, I need a loan.
And I could have gone out and bought an overdrive setup and all that nice stuff for this feel free, make me faster and cover water and all that. But had to prioritize things.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
But I'm sure people who got those funds and didn't have other obligations. Yeah, I want to go get that $2,000 kayak and that $300 reel and that $300-$400 rod, or go blow $300 on lures.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. If you guys are just tuning in, man, you want to get in, talk anything about kayak fishing in general, man, it's open forum tonight. Click the link. I got it up there on the screen. Join us. We got my man Richie Lockery on with us right now, coming at us from southern Missouri. Just talking about everything in the kayak fishing world, man. I mean, tournaments. So you're part of Moyak.
Yep.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because everybody's kind of had to readjust how they're doing tournaments. I haven't fished a tournament with my local club here yet. I have one, not this weekend, the following weekend up on the Madison chain in Wisconsin. But, the KBF event was my big first tournament of the season. I take
it was
that back.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, and I did fish a tournament up in Wisconsin a little bit earlier in the year. And they had a weigh-in at the ramp. But you had to stay 6 feet apart, whatever. Practice
and
the social distancing thing.
And it was top finishers only.
Yeah. Whereas, with the KBF event, it was check in, check out on the Tourney X app.
Oh, yep.
I know a couple guys almost forgot to check back in or check out after they got off the water. I almost did it on the second day, which would have DQ'd me and I wouldn't have got my payout for my big fish.
Yikes.
So, I mean, is Moyak doing the same thing, just using the Tourney X, check in, check out? I'm just curious how everybody's doing it. So I've been talking to people about this.
I only fished the Moyak side that weekend, and yes, that's exactly what we did.
Right on.
And we check in at our spot at what was launch time? 5 o'clock. And
yeah, it was something like that.
Whenever you were done for the day, that's when you checked out.
Well, see, and that was it. The second day got off the water and we were all sitting in the parking lot packing up, just BS, and before we all headed home. And it was like, oh crap, I forgot to check out. I was like, oh crap, and then the other two guys were like, oh, I forgot to check out too. So it's one of those things.
It's new to all of us.
Yeah, I mean, normally, like, we're all rushing to get back to check-in in time, like, and it was nice too. Like, I was talking to Alan, like we talked about when we were down there staying at your place. Alan was fishing way down south, so if it was a normal tournament, he would have had to get off the water probably a good 45 minutes, maybe an hour early to get back to the ramp. So he got his full day of fishing because of that.
Yep. Another guy that fished with me in my spot that day had camped at Indian Point, and to get where I was, as the crow flies, it would have been literally 5 minutes. I mean, literally across the lake from Indian Point, but by land, it's a 55-minute drive by Google Maps.
Yeah, because you got to go around to hit a bridge to come up. You got to either go to Kimberling City or way over to the other side. I forget what bridge that is.
There's like 5 minutes variance, but yeah.
And I mean, in a situation like that with Table Rock, I mean, that's if you guys have never been there, it's a phenomenal fishery, a beautiful lake. The scenery all around there is just phenomenal.
Normal pool, there's 745 miles of shoreline.
Yeah, that's insane. But I mean,
right.
If you're fishing the way south end and the check-ins up at Indian Point, you're talking like an hour and 15-minute drive. So in a tournament scenario, you better hope your big fish are there. Otherwise, you're screwed. And you better be able to get them quick because you can't grind it out all day.
And we've had guys fish the way west side and have a winning limit and show up 10, 15 minutes after and get DQ'd.
That's a bummer, man. Justin Staley asked, are you fishing the All-American Classic this fall?
Of course. We actually have a Moyak tournament on Truman here, not this weekend, next weekend, on June 27th.
Nice.
So, if anyone wants to come down and do a little pre-fishing, although by November the water temp might be 25 degrees cooler if we get a good chill.
Sure.
We get all the Ozark lakes, we get a really good shad bite in the fall.
Nice.
There's the upcoming tournament. Fish any 3 live events of your local club if they're a partner club for the All-American, and you can qualify to come fish.
I know my local club is. I know there's quite a few clubs here in the Midwest that are affiliated with that.
And with this upcoming tournament, Governor Parsons opened up the state, so
Sweet.
We're gonna have a weigh-in, in-person weigh-in. We have so many prizes and sponsored items to give away, and it'll probably be like a classic we had a couple of years ago where we did 3 rounds of drawings
Yeah.
for giveaways, just
Yeah.
because we didn't have those weigh-ins for Lake of the Ozarks and Table Rock.
Right. Well, I know last year KBL hosted the Midwest Kayak Bass Classic, and that was like the top 5 of like 8 or 9 clubs that came together. And it was the same thing. There was a ton of prizes raffled off. I think they did like 2 or 3 rounds of giveaways and things like that. There was a kayak.
So nobody
giveaway.
Nobody goes home empty-handed.
Right. Exactly.
Win or lose.
If you guys are just tuning in, doing an open platform tonight, we got my man Richie Lockery in the house. We're just shooting the breeze about different things going on in the kayak world. There's a link on the screen and up in the comments. You can click to jump on with us and shoot the breeze. Yeah, man. I'll let you shout anybody out you want before I boot you out of here.
Moyak Fishing Series, Everhart in Clinton, Missouri. They'll be hosts of both the Truman tournaments.
Nice.
My personal thanks is KGB Swim Baits, Savior Outdoors, Gator Guards, Lou's Fishing, Lawrence.
Nice.
You looking at a cheat sheet? Anybody?
You looking at a cheat sheet right now?
I'm being ramrodded.
Oh man.
No, being ramrodded.
Right on.
By a biscuit eating leprechaun. Quit.
Well,
I think that's about all I got.
Right on, man.
We have there's a whole list of other sponsors for
Moyak.
The Moyak Fishing Series. You can check that out on moyakfishingseries.com, all one word. Information of the All-American is there on that website. And anyone welcome to come down, check out the tournament here next week if you're local, like within 3-hour drive, I guess.
Yeah.
More if you care to drive that far. But that's about all I got for today.
Right on, man. Well, I appreciate you jumping on tonight, man. And talking. Always good talking with you, brother. I'll let you get back to the little one and have a good Father's Day, my man.
I'm gonna try. So far, he's driving me crazy.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you later.
Later,
right,
buddy.
Bye.
All right, boys and girls. I don't have much more. I know we're winding down on the Spring Madness bracket tour, Spring Madness bracket tournament. Huge upset last weekend. I see my man Dan Perry in the chat. And, dude, I thought he was going to pull it off at the end, but he got beat by Sergeant Mayhem, Josh Smith from New York. So currently we got Sam Jones, Josh Smith in that final matchup. We're waiting on the winner of Susie Roloff and Brad Hicks. So those 3 will battle it out to win the losers bracket. And then they'll be going up against my man Doodoo, Dustin Nichols from Texas. Speaking of Dustin, he's in a huge overturn at work. So his podcast is going to be on hold for about a month or so. I know he posted up yesterday, but just wanted to share that all with you guys. We're going to do this again next week. It's kind of fun. I love talking to everybody. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is a podcast by anglers for anglers. So we're going to do kind of like an open platform, run through kind of like the hot topics of like what's going on around the kayak fishing world and just talk about it. You know what I mean? Have fun, have some laughs, be serious, whatever. But, you know, I'm going to have a list of some pinpoint topics, but I like giving back to the community. Anybody that, knows me and has followed Paddle and Fin, like, this is all for everybody. It's not for my personal gain or whatever. I think the more we can spread the joy and the love in the kayak fishing community, the better off we're all going to be. And especially in these times, like we touched on earlier, kayak shops are going crazy. We got more and more people getting into the sport because of the whole Corona thing. Like, people are forced to go outside and do stuff. They can't do anything else. So if you're new and you're just joining us, welcome. Thanks for tuning in tonight. My boys Jimmy and Dan are doing the OG shows on Mondays. That's why I'm on Thursdays now. Those guys have been killing it. Huge shout out to them. Tune in. They had an epic show this week. If you haven't listened to it, you can go back and watch it on the Facebook page. Catch it on the YouTubes. You can also listen to it on all the podcast platforms. We upload it right after the show's over, just like I'm going to do tonight with this one. But they had the top 1, 2, and 3 from the Kentucky Bass Open, or Hobie Bass Open series on Kentucky Lake, however you want to spin it. But that was a cool show. Of course, Cody Milton was on there again, Jody Queen and Adam Reiser. 3 just incredible fishermen. I think Cody's been on the show so much this year, we might as well just like give him a permanent slot. He's always consistently up there. I mean, it's the same with Jody. Jody's been back on numerous times. So it's good to see those guys thrive. It's good to see Adam Reiser, seal the deal on that top 3 as well. That's a new face and the new name to the Paddle and Fin Network. So shout out to Dan and Jimmy for setting that all up. Obviously, Monday mornings, the Bass Fishing for Noobs segment comes out. I forget who's coming up this week. Sorry, Ryan Milford, Sean Lavery, but they've been crushing it as well. They've been talking to some different guests and things like that. A lot of YouTube guys they've been interviewing lately. Some great info there. So if you are new to kayak fishing, check that out on Mondays. And I believe Susie Roloff is up next week with her segment on Wednesdays. Thursdays. Today we did Josh Eldridge, Brad Hicks released an episode about Douglas rods. It was pretty cool. Myself and Bailey Agbrett jumped on there and talked to those guys about rods on the product review segment. So that was definitely cool. Check out Bailey's podcast, Serious Angler Podcast. He does a lot of stuff, not only in the kayak fishing, but the big boat world too. Talks to a lot of big names and stuff like that. Justin Staley just reminded me, check out the Paddle and Fin Noobs Tournament page. If you're new to kayak fishing, we're doing that monthly tournament. But what I will say is those guys over there, and this is pretty much kudos to Ryan Milford, Sean Lavery. They've built a pretty cool little community over there. It's good to see all those guys interact, talk, lift each other up, encourage each other through the good and the bad. Throughout that monthly tournament, there's a little bit of banner talk, but guys are asking questions, they're getting answers, things like that. So it's great to see that, that whole camaraderie thing, that whole community aspect. Even if you're not a beginner, join up in the page, man. There's a lot of good info, a lot of good conversation going on over there. So feel free to join up. Chris, Josh in the comments. The guys are killing the noob segment. Couldn't agree more, man. I think everybody's been crushing some pretty good episodes here. I can't say enough to all the guys and gals, Susie, that put the time, energy, and effort into doing these podcasts. It's great to see everybody enjoying it. That reminds me, I forgot to look something up here. I think we have a birthday coming up, and I'm not sure exactly when it is, but I'm going to tell you. Paddle and Fin podcast is about to turn 2 years old, ladies and gentlemen, on June 24th. June 24th was the first episode. the maiden voyage. So maybe we'll do something cool, special next week. Yeah, might have to do some giveaways or something. So spread the word, spread the love. Appreciate everybody for all their continued support, both on and off the podcast, behind the scenes, things like that. So I think that's it. Jimmy Skinner says, birthday episode, brother. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. After hours birthday party. I don't know. That could get dangerous. We do want to bring after hours back. We've kind of put that on hold because we had the whole bracket tournament going on. That's winding down. So I know there's already been some banner talk about, hey, we need to do an after hours episode. So stay tuned. I'm sure that's coming back because I haven't been able to roast Ryan Milford yet, and that is going to happen. I guarantee it. Oh, the other part. And one last news question. Where's Scott Butcher? Where'd he go? I saw he just did a captain's meeting for KBF, but bro, where you at, man? Haven't seen your show. Missing you. Hope you're doing well. Huge shout out to all the other podcasters out there killing it. And that's pretty much it for me. Hope you all are doing well. Staying safe out there. As always, tight lines, smooth paddling. Peace.